Joining me on the afternoon show, we have John, Tom and Martin from Barrow's new Constellation. This is a very exciting project that's been, you might have seen the big posters up around town, and it's about new ways of thinking, I believe. John, is that correct? Is that what does the Constellation do?
I'm not so sure about it being a new way of thinking. It's looking at Barrow, and we all love our town. That's why we were asked to take part in this particular project. So it's a matter of looking at Barrow in a new light. Barrow is an amazing place, but it's been stuck in a Victorian rut for a long time, and perhaps been stuck behind the rest of the country. So the idea of this is really to look at Barrow, strip it apart, and see what we can do to improve the environment, to improve the quality of life for the people who live here. Looking at some really radical ideas, how we can change the town for the near and middle future. It's not something that's going to happen tomorrow, but it's something we can look at and analyse where we see things not good, and improve that whole quality of life for all of us who enjoy our life in this town.
So it sounds really exciting. We're going to play a record now. Now, John, I've asked you before we started the interviews to pick your favourite record. John, which one did you pick?
Oh, I think we're going through so much in this country now, and I just think All You Need Is Love, perhaps by the Beatles, will give us a feel-good factor.
It will. Excellent choice. Now, John has told us what the Constellation is about and these new ideas. But Tom, you volunteered to go on this project. What happened during that week when you were all brought together?
So when they brought us together, we started the week kind of in the blind. They kept us really hidden from kind of the stuff that we were going to do, because they wanted us to really harbour curiosity and keep an open mind. And I think when you're doing a project like this, you've got to really take in every possibility. And as John said, that we were looking at radical ideas. So to look at radical ideas, you really need to have an open mind, and you need to approach everything with empathy. So over the course of the week, the group of 15 people, we're all really passionate about Barrow. Basically, we created a collection of stars, or guideposts, as we called them, which can be used going forward to assist in decision making. So right. This will ensure that the community need is at the heart of everything that we do. So when we discussed our stars or guideposts, we were able to take them to the next level and apply them to ideas, or the radical ideas, like John said. So if you think of a constellation, it has, hundreds of thousands of stars in. And what we did is we picked a small number of what we think is absolutely fundamental to making a change. So we pick things like empathy, curiosity, diversity and inclusion, a whole host of other ones as well, which I'm sure everyone will get to see at a later date. So that's kind of what the week was formed around, the structure of the Constellation, which can be used in any setting.
It sounds like quite a radical way of approaching things. Have you ever done anything like that before?
No, I haven't. I've done a lot of conferences and events around diversity and inclusion and harbouring diversity of thought, but nothing to this extreme. I think when we're talking about making a change in a place like Barrow, you've got to be radical. We've got to be able to go in being extremely realistic about where we are, so we can understand where we need to be.
Did you come up with any concrete ideas then as to what sort of changes are going to be put into place?
We discussed lots of things. As the group is from all walks of life in Barrow, we all see different people and we all understand different people's needs, which really helps us to feed it back down to the people. Because when we're talking about Barrow, we're talking about everyone here. This project is for everyone that lives in the borough of Barrow. So we didn't discuss firmly ideas, because anything that the constellation encompasses. So we can use the constellation to form any idea. So going forward, we can create anything in our mind to be able to go the next steps. We're taking into consideration the constellation, but also Sam's initiative, which is she wants the whole borough to be healthy and happy. So that could encompass everything for many different people.
And that's Sam Plum. Yeah,
it is. Yes,
Chief Executive of Barrow Borough Council. Right. Well, it sounds like you've had an amazing experience and almost sort of like a lifetime experience, really.
Yeah, it was really, really special to be able to connect with different people and connect with people who you wouldn't necessarily always come across in your everyday life. So it did make the process truly beautiful. It was nothing but empathy. And when one thing that we did when we were on the constellation, obviously it was all over Zoom, due to social distancing. We couldn't be in there and hug people, and it became quite raw. And we talked about a lot of personal things, and obviously on the radio you can't see the action that I'm doing, but whenever anyone said something that we felt we were empathetic towards, we just put our hand on our chest, and it was just done in such a place of love, which is going back to John's song. It's what we need in this town. We need love.
Fantastic. Talking of songs, which song have you chosen for this afternoon?
I've chosen This Is Me from The Greatest Showman. A lot of people find it very cheesy, but I think it's just a classic.
It is indeed. Thank you so much. So we are dedicating this hour to Barrow's new constellation, and I've been joined this afternoon by John, Martin and Tom, who are panellists. They volunteered and were chosen to be panellists, and they've been telling us a little bit about what's been happening over the past few weeks. Martin, what are the what did you think? What were your impressions of the constellation when you began?
My impressions, it was not what I expected initially. I was expecting something totally different, and I think within the first couple of 3 minutes, it came across as, "Whoa, what am I doing here?" Very fluffy, very, very way out there, and very uncomfortable for me because it's not something I have ever done in that context, if you will. But I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, and it's good to experience different things. And I think being out of your comfort zone sometimes is a good thing.
Yeah,
it puts you on your feet.
It makes you grow, doesn't it?
It makes you grow. It puts you on the spot. But it was a brilliant environment. Everyone was probably in the same situation, and people quickly got to know each other. They got to know the idiosyncrasies of each other, where they were coming from, what they were thinking, and it was good at the end of the day. And I hope that people got out of it what we expected and hoped to get out of it. Okay,
right. So, what did you expect and hope to get out of it?
My expectation was to get across, I think, from my perspective, was this across the country, this thought of what Barrow is. Everybody has a negative thought about what Barrow is. They've never been here. They don't understand it. And there's always an opinion that it's up north. It's full of drugs, and it's full of this, and it's a dirty old industrial town. It isn't. There's more to Barrow than these thoughts that people are thinking. Barrow is a cracking place. It just needs a good shaking, a good wake-up call, and the likes of this group that have come together to try and get different opinions across of what Barrow is and the potential that it's got. And I hope that that's is going to come out of all of this.
So what will we see then? What will the average person in Barrow see as a result of your meetings?
I think initially probably very little, because there's a long way to go. These are ideas that have been sown. They've been put together by a group of people, and only 15 people. Barrow is 67,000, and it's making sure that all those people get an idea of the thoughts that have come across. All these 10 stars that we've come up with. People need to understand that, and I think it's a good point that we can sell to the community and say, this is what we think. They're ideas, but the community has got to go along with it. You've got to take the community along, because they're the people that are going to be impacted.
Right. Now, you do have, you are presenting to Barrow Borough Council, I believe, in the near future, some of the findings, the results. Is there a time frame for the outcomes?
There is talk of it going to Barrow Borough Council. Obviously, there is. There is no timescales at the moment. Meetings have to be put together, and people from this group are already volunteering to be part of that from beginning to end. And I think that's the right thing. But it's feeding this idea, this concept across to people that were not involved.
Yeah.
And that's the key to it all, to get that passion across that the group had across to the council, because at the end of the day, that's where the buy-in's got to be for it then to be further sold and put out to the community.
Well, it sounds like there's exciting times ahead then as we go into 2021, which is something that we could all do with. A little bit of hope on the horizon at this point. Martin, what is your song that you have chosen for us this afternoon?
My song is My Way by Frank Sinatra. All through my life, I've done things and like to think I've done it my way. But in this instance, we're doing it our way.
Oh, lovely. Okay, well, that's lovely. Thank you so much to everybody. I wish you a very Merry Christmas and a happy and healthy New Year.
Thank you.